I knew in the first meeting, and I said nothing. Then I spent the next few weeks living inside exactly the problem I'd seen coming. If you doubt yourself at work, even when you already know the answer, this one's for you. I'm Sukunta. I spent over 20 years in international corporate environments, reached director level, and then gradually burnt out. I built the stability under pressure method from what I lived and what I now see in every high achieving woman I work with. I remember a specific meeting where I knew and said nothing. I was the only director based in Phnom Penh. Everyone else was based in Siem Reap. So anything happening in the city or anywhere near it landed on my desk, whether it was my job or not. One of those things was renovating a flagship store. And you can't close a flagship store to renovate it. It stays open, it keeps selling, which means the work has to be planned down to the day or you lose sales. And you wear out the team who have to work in the middle of it. The process was simple. 3 suppliers, 3 quotes. I'd gone out and found 2 of them myself because the one we always used had come back far too high and I didn't think we should have just accepted that. So we met all 3, me and the CEO. Now, I want to be clear about what happened in me in those meetings because it wasn't a feeling. One of them, the one we'd used before, the one everybody knew, gave us a quote that was vague, exactly where it needed to be precise. Took days to answer a simple question. And in the whole meeting, didn't ask us one thing about how the store would actually keep trading while they would work. I'd run enough projects by then to know exactly what that means. Vague on paper is vague on site. Slow now is slow later. I knew. And then I did the thing that I want to talk about today. I looked around in that room and did the math. The CFO was more senior than me. He knew them. There was history there. And I thought, if I push on this, I'll lose. So I spend it. So I said something mild, something reasonable, something that let everybody move on. And we hired them. Now let me tell you what that cost. The renovation ran long, not by days, by weeks. And every single week it ran, the team in that store were working around it, serving customer in the middle of it, trying to sell while the place was half a building site. I'd walk in and see it on their faces. And I think I saw this in a meeting weeks ago. And I let it happen because I didn't want to lose an argument. That's the one that made me start counting. After that, there were a consultant I'd known who didn't fit the company culture before her first meeting was over. And I said nothing because I knew my boss already had made a decision. And it cost us. There was also a new hire I knew was wrong on day 1, and I raised it formally in month 3. Times over the years, when my own read of the situation came out of somebody else's mouth and got treated like news. And underneath all that counting was a quieter question, the one that actually hurt. If I keep overruling myself, what is that teaching me about my own judgment? What I eventually understood was that I wasn't lacking confidence in that room. My answer arrived early and it was clear. What I didn't have was the sense that I was allowed to say it, not without building a case around it first, not without knowing I'd win. And every time you do that, you're teaching yourself something. That your first read is not enough on its own. That it needs backing before it counts. Do that enough times, and your instinct starts speaking more quietly. Because why wouldn't it? That's how capable women lose touch with what they actually think. not in one big decision, one small silence at a time. Attempting to change it was not easy at all. A few weeks later, another meeting, another early click. I felt it land, maybe 6 minutes in. And I told myself, this time, say it early. And I didn't. The moment went past while I was still working out how to phrase it. Someone took the discussion somewhere else, and by the time I could have said it, it didn't matter. That's one. The next time, closer. I actually opened my mouth at the right moment, and then I heard myself say, this might be completely wrong, but... And I watched the room take my point exactly as seriously as I had just taken it myself. That's two. The third time, I gave myself one rule. Decided in advance. Not to be more confident, not to trust yourself more. Just one mechanical rule. Say it within 1 minute of knowing it, without the case. The click came, I counted maybe 40 seconds, and I said it. My instinct says this one, and here's the short version of why. The short version, not the watertight one. My heart was going. I didn't sound as articulate as I like to sound. And nothing happened. Nobody laughed. Somebody disagreed. We talked it through. And my point held up perfectly well on its own, without the 40 minutes of preparation that I would normally have put around it. And I went home that day feeling something I hadn't felt in a long time. Like I actually been in the meeting, all of me, one time. That 1 minute between knowing something and saying it is exactly what I train women to close now. And this week, you can practice it with me directly through my live experience called the Stable Under Pressure 5-Day Challenge. 5 days, live on Zoom with me, 1 hour a day. One pattern, all week, each day, one small, concrete practice of acting on what you already know. And before you talk yourself out of it. More details and the link to register are in the description below. Your instinct has been right more often than you've let it be. 5 days. Come and find out how often. Understanding your pattern is the beginning of your power. No one owns you.